Welcome back to the World Championship Series.
好吧，我们来讲那个好了，我们来讲胜的比赛吧。好，我们讲胜的比赛吧。在哪里呀？嘿，改一下标题。好，走，我们来看歌吧。看歌，我们从那个胜被介绍那边开始吧。这里，好，Go。
Multiple top 4 finishes, and then had the cherry on the cake at the end with the DreamHack Winter Championship, and oh boy did he want that. But on the other hand, Sen has been around for a long time. Do you know when his first tournament win was? Do you know?
In StarCraft 2?
In StarCraft overall.
In StarCraft, oh god. Oh, that'll be a long time ago.
2004
was
Sen's first StarCraft tournament win on a big scale. He won WCG Taiwan in the national qualifiers back in 2004. He then competed in the main event of the World Cyber Games that year, and since then has been in StarCraft ever since. And it is, if you didn't know, the year 2015, that is a long time of playing StarCraft at the highest level.
That it is. ForGG, no stranger to past results, of course, being a Brood War champion in the past.
That's right, he won the MSL in 2008, the MSL Arena, and in the semi-finals beat Flash, and in the finals beat Jadong. Couldn't have asked for a better 2 players to beat to win the championship.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff.
上面的解说是写说他在台湾晋级的都是3-0击败了伊人。
Pros actually transitioned. We didn't have that many Brood War champions. I think I can't even recall others other than ForGG when
he was the first.
When the initial transition came over from a few of them.
He was the first. OGS ForGG is named way back when.
OGS Finn?
OGS Finn, correct, yeah. He was one of the first big players to move into StarCraft 2. And he stayed in Korea, played around in the GSL a little bit, had a little bit of success in Code A, finally broke through into Code S, but actually forfeit his spot to travel to Europe in the summer of 2012, where he's been ever since. In June 2012, he joined Millennium.
这个滑鼠是 Razer 的 ，Razer 的滑鼠。
He's been living here in Europe, in between France and Germany ever since. And is our resident Korean in Europe and has been for the last 3 years. But he goes up against Sen, and one of the most interesting parts about this for me, because they both are Brood War players playing StarCraft, that in itself is
cool. 以打电竞来说算是差不多了。如果是以打星海来讲的话
，This is ForGG, a developed European Terran that plays very precisely mech but can do bio, versus Sen, who is playing on the other side of the world, on his own server, in his own leagues, doing his own thing, and I really want to see how these two are going to match up.
Definitely, it's very rare.
星海2里面那个年纪最大、拿过最多奖项就是 Nasty 了，他大概打到29、30岁，30之后他完全没有成绩了，他上来就是完全没成绩了。
Best of 3 between Sen and ForGG. One of these guys will advance onto the winners. One, unfortunately, will fall down into a lower position in this group.
哦，
As we have a slight pause for a minute.
第一场胜打ForGG 这个，
I'll just, oh no, we're good to go.
瓦尼研究站。
You can continue.
Okay, let's get into the intros then, as we have spawning it down to the southern position here as our Red Zerg representing Hong Kong Attitude. It is Sen.
Who is awesome, by the way. I had a couple of hours with him filming and doing some recordings with him today. He is so awesome.
And spawning up to the northern position here are Blue Terran representing Team Millennium. It's ForGG.
And who doesn't love ForGG?
He's pretty cool too.
Who doesn't love ForGG? I don't know anyone.
He's a cool guy. It was so nice to see him win a tournament at the end of 2014. He'd been here for the longest time, and the question mark over his head for ages and ages and ages was, yeah, you've been here for ages.
这场看起来应该正常打吧？11人口还没下瓦斯，应该是先放兵。
and he's been on good form ever since.
He really has. The one slip-up he had was in Taipei just a couple of weeks back where he bombed out, but when you look closer to the results, he lost against the champion the first game that he ever had in Taipei.
Yeah.
He lost 0-2 to Life, and then lost to San, who has always been a dangerous player to play against. That's the only slip-up he had in 2015.
好，听话了 ，OK。12人口放兵，12人口瓦斯，这是要输死神。ForGG 要先出一只死神，然后再决定他怎么打。然后圣这边是裸双。
He smashed it all the way into WCS. He had a close challenger game though, surprisingly. You know, congratulations to Marine Lord for giving him a good fight. 3-2 ForGG won in his favorite matchup, and it wasn't easy.
Yeah, especially since at the beginning of the Challenger League, going into that, everyone thought, well, okay, ForGG is going to absolutely dominate that. But you're right, Marine Lord gave him a really good run for his money, and it's especially interesting considering they are on the same team. So no doubt Marine Lord is very, very familiar with ForGG's style, but was still able to do some good stuff.
All right, just looking at the map vetoes here and the map selection that we have for these best of 3, where we do have a second. The way that the vetoes work, because that's actually funny, because we see the vetoes, but, excuse me, a lot of people don't really know how they work. So, player A and player B, that's player 1 or player 2. In this case, player 1 or player A is Sen, player B or player 2 is ForGG. So, Sen gets to veto first, and then ForGG gets to veto 2 in a row, then Sen gets 1 more.
为什么电竞28就算老了？因为电竞是反应啊，电竞是你要瞬间反应啊，你瞬间，就说你看到一个画面，然后你意识到哦，就说你看到那个运输机的那个轨雷掉下来。然后你意识到，哦，干鬼嘞！这时候你要把你的工兵分开，对不对？你意识到这个动作，然后加上你看到，对不对？你可能就是要做，把你的兵去点鬼雷啊，然后把你的工兵散开。你要做完这些动作，你要在很短时间内完成它，而且并且就是你要反应到，然后去完成到你的操作。你可能只有给你1秒钟的时间，你要做完。但是如果说你年纪比较大，你可能没办法在1秒钟内做完的话，那就会重伤嘛。所以通常年纪如果说25之后，你的这种瞬间反应速度会越来越慢了。手速我倒觉得还好，主要是反应，因为其实我手速从我进职业到现在25岁到现在28、29，我的手速也没有变慢了，就差不多。
And the reason why he's playing to his map size is that overlord usually goes all the way up. It doesn't just stop there. And then he's going to check towards the expansion, check the Reaper or something, and then you poke out and go kill the overlord and deny the scout.
对啊，但是打炉石就没差哦，打炉石的话就是靠脑力的嘛，它不是靠瞬间反应力的那种就比较没有关系。打牌啊、下棋那种就没有关系。但是如果说是像星海这种要瞬间反应的，像 low 啊 ，low 也是啊 ，low 也是，你看到那个 Q 的子弹这样，然后你要一瞬间把它。反应到那个子弹射出来，然后你要反应闪掉，这种东西就是，如果说你年纪大的话，真的会反应比较慢，你可能就闪不掉那个 Q 什么的。那像这种你可能就闪不掉它的某个东西啊，就是你可能没有办法第一时间反应过来说你被双线了，你要一瞬间把你的兵分好，这种东西就是要靠瞬间反应。哦，那个是你说那个 UNILIONS0104，你说打手游的，手游的话就是还是要看手游的类型啊。对，有些手游如果说真的是瞬间反应要很快的，那可能一样还是会有这个问题。那像你如果是玩神魔之塔啊，或是什么斗塔啊、争霸这种，其实我觉得瞬间反应其实没有那么强，但是它需要动脑啊。就是可能就比较不会有年龄的限制。哎，圣也在 PP 耶，这场是怎样？大家都在 PP 耶。
But just looking at ForGG's build here, he's already stopped SCV production, and this is a complete one base all in, which very rare, very very rare. There is circling speed on the way for Sen, which could assist, but we don't see, excuse me, a tech lab on the barracks. We see marine production, and if there was a tech lab on the barracks, then we actually could see the starport used for a Banshee. In this case, it's going to be Medivacs, and with the resources, I wouldn't be surprised to see an armory thrown down, and it was just the super fast marine Hellbat Medivac push.
Yeah.
Like the super duper super duper timing.
And the crazy thing about this from
Well, no one does the
ForGG,
super duper timing.
Exactly, is that he normally goes for a bit more of a mid-game standard play, but then he's still very aggressive from that point on. But he is
刚刚胜打出了 go go， 你有没有看到啊？
really
这个姿势就是 go go 的意思。哎，这个姿势就是 go go 的意
He has
思。
links at the front to spot something moving out, but well, we're gonna see if he's able to react accordingly.
Can he stop the super duper timing?
I don't know, man. It's going to be difficult.
He doesn't even know that the Hellions are out yet. He's got 2 Zerglings outside that haven't even poked up, and he's not even sure what's going on.
He's only going to have Zerglings and a few Queens to really deal with it. There's no Roach Warren being thrown down here yet.
Still nothing.
All right. Well,
still no scout from Sen. He's just doing his own thing. He's in his own world on the other side of the map, building drones.
胜还是捕农民哎，胜
Now he sees 4 Hellions.
胜没有飞王虫啊，胜没有飞王虫去看那个2矿啊。
What? That's kind of early. So he's gonna have to start to build some units.
Extra Queens.
胜直接开3矿，6分开3矿，这正常。但是问题是今天 ForGG 没有开2矿啊。
That just has to be foregone. There's not really too much you can do with that.
啊，还在捕农啊。
Super duper Banshee on the way too to join the super duper timing. This is incredible.
This is kind of scary. Well, he already sees how many queens are at the top there. Just 3. 2 more are going to join the fray a little bit.
哇，这时候胜要炮兵，来不及了，来不及了，这都火车啊，6只火车了。
This is ridiculous.
It's the 7-minute, however many 6 Hellbats this is.
ForGG was apparently aware that it could have gone long tonight and decided not to do that.
There's 20 Lings on the way, but they're not going to do a lot against.
如果今天胜要守这一波的话，你要么就是要大量的狗，然后加一点点毒爆，不然就是要有蟑螂，不然这一波这样子太难守，不然就是他要很多后虫。这时候6分多，如果说有6只后虫加上大量树狗，还有一点机会哦，还就有机会守住哦。不然的话就是他要有毒爆。
Wow. There's not much more to do.
Well, Banelings are being morphed, and he's transferred some drones down to that 3rd base, which is coming in useful here. If he can somehow get an amazing detonation to just blows everything up. And don't remember, the super duper Banshee's on its way.
That's a lot of super duper.
And there's no spores, and there's no layer, there's no detection.
Yeah. And I think he killed off a lot of the queens, right? Oh yeah, there's no queens. So
哦，毒爆来了，但是来不及了，这已经重伤了。胜因为工兵都在拉，根本就没有经济爆兵了，而且还有一只女妖，女妖无敌了。
Well,
Sen is like, what do you Terran players do on the European server? What is this?
Why have I been? And the thing is that if Sen had looked at any of ForGG's previous games from recent tournaments, they weren't really like this. So there's not much scouting that you can go for. They got GG.
刚刚是看一下，为什么胜会没发现
？Extra queens, duper. Spot something moving out, but
应该要从这边开始。
he normally
这边是暂停的时候，等一下再往前一点。
up there pretty quickly, but unless he pokes up
5分多，3分多应该会有一只死神出来啊！等一下再重来一下。
Has not gone by the way for a very fast command center.
ForGG 是正常的。 他是死神开的流程，但是他没有出死神啊，我看一下。他死神开嘛，但是他是出枪兵。然后胜的王虫压根就没飞进去过啊。胜的王虫是归在外面嘛。胜的王虫根本就没飞进过啊，胜的王虫死掉嘛。等一下我再往前。 对，这是胜的第1只王虫就停在这了，然后这是第2只王虫停在这里，然后胜的王虫根本就没飞进过，对不对？没有飞进过，他的王虫就停这边。因为这张图，你王虫如果直往人家加飞的话，人家的那个枪兵基本上你这只王虫是稳死了。 如果你飞过去的话，会被王虫抓，会被枪兵抓嘛？那如果说你停在边边的话，其实也蛮容易死。哦，这边胜要飞了。
And ForGG has not gone, by the way, for a very fast command center. Look at his build. Look at his build. He's got a fast factory, fast reactor, fast second gas.
好，王虫过来。这应该有看到，视野错了吧？看一下胜的视野，胜的视野，你也切一下胜的视野，胜应该是看到那个兵营加上那个反应炉，对，然后是他看到2只枪兵，所以说应该是默认说胜应该是默认ForGG是 ForGG 是那个开矿，然后走火车，所以说他现在就是看到这个开局以后就直接一直爆农。但他看到这边已经基本上他就默认对方是开矿的。然后那个剩的第3只王虫是他往外飞，但是他并没有往那个 ForGG 的2矿那边飞，应该是怕被中间飞到一半王虫被抓吧，所以他没有往2矿那边飞。可是就算他今天是往2矿那边飞也来不及了，因为他的第2只王虫是放在他的3矿那边防防人家大招。你看他第2只王虫在这里嘛，在我花子这边，他防大招。就是一开始要防说人家有没有可能过来，但是有兵压过来啊什么的，碉堡啊、工兵啊。所以他这一场就是默认对方开矿啊，但是偏偏 ForGG 这场是没开矿了，所以说圣农民就补过头了。
I don't know, man. It's going to be difficult.
He doesn't even know that the Hellions are out yet. He's got 2 Zerglings outside that haven't even put.
最后这边，
Well, he already sees how many queens are at the top there. Just 3, 2 more.
你看，如果说今天是6分，有7分嘛，7分的话，其实正常来说，虫族硬要做后虫是可以做到6只的啦。如果说真的硬要做的话，那6只后虫加上提速狗要挡这一波，我觉得有机会守住。那后虫先把医疗厅点了嘛。对，然后狗不要去贴那个火车人，是有机会守住，不然的话就是他可能要有毒爆虫，这时候可能要有我看一下他的瓦斯量158，后那个毒爆虫可以做6颗，对他如果说今天是有做就正常流程的话，他这时候应该可以有6颗毒爆，那6颗毒爆要守正面这一波，其实我觉得是可以守的啦，是可以守，然后加上速狗，不然的话就是再简单一点，就是他有蟑螂这一波就很好守，只要有蟑螂这一波就很好守，但是他因为胜的第一场他完全没有侦查到对方的2矿，然后他默认对方是这样开，因为他的王虫进去看到他的门口的那个兵营是挂那个反应炉嘛，然后又看到2只枪兵，对，然后他就默认对方是开矿，所以说他就多补了一点兵，就是正常的那个补营运的流程，就没想到人家是单矿一波，所以他就挂了，没有兵了。啊，我们这场先过去吧，这场大概就这样子吧。我去看第2场。
Wow, that was easy. That was incredibly easy. So
ForGG 这个键盘是哪一家的啊？旁边有那个狙击键被他拔掉。
He doesn't care about this group. This group's too easy for a player like ForGG. He's going all the way to the top this season.
Yeah, and he's not going to
stop. 我感觉像是什么
The thing is that
什么技嘉之类的。 逻辑吗？哦，是逻辑哦。我想说是不是什么技嘉之类的，就是比较少见到的厂牌。应该说在电竞方面比较晚进场的厂牌，应该这样说。逻辑的。
Amazingly crazy, but it was extremely fast. Not something that you're really going to expect. Sen was always expecting, oh, come on, okay, he's going to go for an expansion, especially Vanny Research Station, where you've got a pocket expansion for free, basically. But that was not to be the case.
Yeah, and you'd be pretty much bamboozled after that one. You just don't really know what's just happened to you when you Sen. And have a look at that one later. But either way, fantastic start. 1-0 ForGG, nice and easy.
Well, we're going to load up onto Catalina for game number 2. And Sen needs to buckle down and get on with this and make sure he's not going to be hit by something too early. But at the same time, ForGG can easily just go for a standard build and be very, very aggressive with his Hellion play. That's something that he can quite easily throw into the works here. Similar to what we saw Happy doing at the start against Pig in yesterday's group. But let's get into this game number 1. No, game number 2 even, I should say. Over on the left-hand side, it's our red Zerg representing Hong Kong Attitude. It is Sen. And down to the bottom right-hand corner.
3790，哇，这个定价是想怎样？3790。
This is a nice finishing map for him too. He's got perfect positioning with spawning
好，
if
第2场。
he wants to go for a Reaper expansion. It's the closest pathway to his opponent's main base. Hop, skip, a jump through this area, and you're into the main base of the Zerg. So he's going to be there at really.
这张图的人打虫那个死神特别厉害啊，因为他的那个距离蛮近的，死神可以跳上跳下，距离蛮近的。如果说你是正常的裸双什么16口放狗池的话，人家的那个死神到你家之后，你的后虫可能才按到一半而已，可能才刚按而已啊，那个 压力会很大。所以这张图有些重组会选择直接15D。哎呦，对，就像圣这样子，因为这张图的死神威力蛮强的，所以说这张图有些人会选择15D，然后早点把他的后虫按出来，这样就比较不会被死神闹到。
Is because of the way that the main base is spawned. And if you think about how Zerg vs Terran usually plays out, Terran eventually, if they get to the mid game, is always going to be rallying to the 4th base, which is going to be at the far north side of the map here for Sen. And then it's very easy for ForGG to say, okay, I have my units in the middle of the map, I'll send 2 drops towards your main base, and then we're going to send everything towards your 4th. And then it's very difficult to send to defend in both locations very easily. While trying to keep his creep spread going and trying to handle this multitasking that he's going to throw at him, so he's really got to be.
声音最大的是青轴，红轴是声音最小。
You know, his mutilus positioning and his baneling count obviously around that 4th base location. So there's going to be a lot for him to think about.
Definitely, these 6 Zerglings actually being rallied out pretty quickly here. Against the idea of the Reapers.
好，这场果然是死神，但是因为那个圣队长是15D 啦，然后他还做了6条狗要去咬那个 ForGG 的2矿，那这样的话，那个圣的那6条狗其实直接直冲的话，怕会遇到工兵啊，但是可以比较那个节省时间啊。那圣这边是。圣这边看起来是有特别绕哦，他走中间感觉是有特别绕的。对，这有特别绕的，好过去，很有机会把2矿的工兵咬掉哦。15D 的好处，应该说你今天如果说是打15D 的话，你最好就是有这一手会比较好。打人类的2矿，把2矿工兵咬掉，把他逼退，这样最好。哦，这场是很有机会哦，这个2矿应该是要逼退了。死神要赶快回来救 ，ForGG 的那个死神要赶快回来救，但是感觉是来不及了，死神已经出门了。所以说有时候人类会连续出2只死神，然后第2只死神放在家里等，就是为了要防这一波，防这一手。好，那这样把他逼退的话，虽然说这6条狗可能是回不去了，但是把2矿逼掉的话，我觉得对圣来说还不错。好，圣选择弃，圣选择让小明去死哦，另外2只都活着。哦，小强也被放弃了，小强也被放弃了。好，圣又要回来要去再抓一次2矿。小明跟小强都已经阵亡了。好，过来看一下科技哦，看到这边是有一个飞机场，星际港。哦，这个小华也挂，小华也挂。
Or it could be used for a medivac here. If we were to see some type of marine drop, is very popular as of recently. So you load up about 8 marines, drop them inside the main mineral line, get them in good position, very good against queens and zerglings that can't get a full surround, and then run hellions into the natural. It's a very strong combination.
At least we're seeing a little bit of creep spread come out from the main base. Sorry, the natural.
不过这次圣已经有注意到对方是有火车，有运输机加上那个 VF 的科技，很有可能对方会打一模一样的打法，所以圣现在要赶快要做反应了，因为对方到现在还没2矿，他的王虫应该有看到。圣在那个 ForGG 家有一只王虫在2矿那边，他应该有注意到圣的那个2基地是还没有飞下来的。那圣这边已经开了3矿，补到30几农，还在补农。好，这只飞进来看，但是没看到，重点是什么都没看到，被枪兵击落，什么都没看到。不对，这个圣好像没有看到飞机场，圣刚看到那个是2矿，下面那个刚做建筑物是2矿，不是飞机场。好，圣这是还在补农哦，还在补农，然后毒爆虫巢放了。好，这波要守住应该没问题。2只后虫再点医疗艇，这个要上去了。好，这一次好像没有火车跟科技，但是有8台火车啊，8台火车加隐形女妖，这波也算是单框一波，一个双线哦。圣这边没有视野，哇，压力超大。这边正面没有蟑螂，只有毒爆跟狗，哇，这边哦，再走。这压力有点大，这个圣不倒算放个地刺吗？如果2矿有个地刺会好很多。好，8台火车完蛋，这个不要硬哦，不能上去，看上去要爆炸，哇，这压力很大，这后虫挂了，后虫要挂了。 哇，这打不赢啊！这个后面的来了，后面来了，直接投脸，直接投脸，哎，小杀祸虫，祸虫被秒了，剩一滴血被秒了。
And it's always good to go for the queens in that situation because it makes those banshees a little more effective once they come along.
10台火车啊，大哥，10台火车人啊！哇，这个双线，哇，这怎么办？这火车人全部站在那个斜坡那边，这没毒爆，这没救，一定要有毒爆，有毒爆都不一定有救，纯狗是一定死。
ForGG spreads his units correctly, which at this level, ForGG well known for not making these type of mistakes.
ForGG 这边在补龙了，哇，好，已经上好了，没在怕。你要再点毒爆，你要再点毒爆，这一波，哇，狗一下就变成烤肉，变烤肉，这个，我天哪，这狗人口是24。
Perfect execution game number 1 and perfect number 2. There's a massive world of difference between the both players today.
这个没有蟑螂，这个火车出到那么多，如果说胜有出蟑螂的话就很棒了。哎呀，
Very easy games for ForGG. Sen put up little to no fight at all here against the DreamHack Winter Champion.
我看一下刚刚胜发生什么事。应该说这里吧。哎呀，他这个视角我要怎么看啊？他这个视角没有办法看胜这时候怎么样？哦，这里胜这边看不出来，我只看得到胜还在补农民啊。你看，在那个火车人上来的时候，胜的那个工兵还在补，也就是说胜这一波完全没有，他觉得他应该是觉得守得住了。所以说他的那个异化虫就没有再爆，然后他还双身攻地面攻防，他没有想到会有这一波。我再往前一点。然后他有看到火车在那个虫台上面走，然后加上这些异化虫。
But there are quite a few Hellions, a lot of Hellions, ForGG style Hellions.
And they're going to be morphing soon into those Hellbats once the armory finishes up. Unless the
好，他这时候其实有看到有看到那个吧，有看到那个对方有8台火车吧，但是他并没有选择要继续爆平，他只是这边有一些狗在守，然后再多爆10条，他这边的这个卵是异化虫，他有再多做10条异化虫，然后后面他的卵就是拿去补农民。
And it's always good to go for the queens in that situation because it makes those banshees a little more effective once they come along. Look how many Hellions he has available to him.
我在想，如果说2矿那边有一根地势守得住嘛，如果说有一根的话，一根就够了，不知道守不守住啊？看一下啊，他这边上来，剩的异化虫其实也蛮多的。好，这边上来看到火车人，如果说这边正面有一根地势的话，不行，我觉得也没救，有一根地势好像也没救。
5 banelings are morphing in here, Sean, but is it enough?
Not if.
然后剩这边钱其实有花完了，有花完钱了，然后双身攻防什么的。没有蟑螂真的是很难守啊。那如果说今天你要用没蟑螂手法，就是你的毒爆早点变了。他毒爆应该好很久了吧？还是他毒爆虫巢才刚放啊？看一下，剩的毒爆虫巢是这时候7分还没放，7分还没放。然后剩的瓦是136，然后2本哦，这时候放136，7分放7分17秒放毒爆虫巢，然后2本没提。他选择的是放毒爆虫巢跟2个进化室，这个时间点。
2 queens, 12 zerglings should be enough.
然后这时候也没有升2本吧，放了3基地。我看一下他资源的分配啊。
Even though it's been early at command center in this game, this still is very, very scary when you're going up against someone like ForGG. He does normally control it pretty well.
这时候他的虫，他有看到6台火车在他的正面绕，对，他有看到，所以他连续爆20条异化虫，就是要防那个火车。然后他在8分，好，8分20秒之后，他毒爆虫巢好了。对，然后他其实是有余钱可以爆转毒爆的，他是可以做毒爆，他这时候爆到400块，我再往后看，直接往后看，这边清掉一只后虫，
but even trying to micro back just one lone Marine there.
哦，这边其实 ForGG 有在藏他的兵，不让对方看，不让那个胜看到他的兵种组合。
And it's always good to go for the queens in that situation because it makes those banshees a little more effective once they come along. Look how many hellions.
哎呀，他那个第一，他这个转那个 ForGG 第一视角，谁知道是在做什么？
Banshee doing a little bit of harassment in the back.
他那个毒爆也不知道有没有被点。哎呀，我跟你讲，其实胜这一波，只要他把他的那个，他如果说他的异化虫有变毒爆，我觉得还有机会守。就是你看哦，他其实。 这一波打上来的时候，他这波打上来的时候，其实你看胜，其实那时候你看这边有150气在这边，然后170在这边，这边是250气250攻那个钱嘛，250气250钱是几只毒爆？1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10，有10颗毒爆，加上这边5颗，总共13颗毒爆，13颗毒爆挡得住吧？13颗毒爆加上大量的提速狗，我觉得这一波是有机会挡住的。但是胜没有意识到对方已经在。 他的门口准备要给他上来了，所以他把他的那个攻防升上去。他想说对方应该没有要打，把攻防升上去，所以说他的那个钱跟瓦斯没有第一时间变毒爆。包括其实他那时候是有足够资源把他的钱变毒爆，但是那个 ForGG 可能也有意识到这一点，所以说他的女妖有在那个胜的家里面乱晃，然后那个 ForGG 的那个女妖是可以去点那个胜的毒爆的。我是觉得这场胜会输。 ForGG 给的压力很够，也是一个原因啊。ForGG 一直都有在给那个胜压力，从第一次的那个运输机的空投嘛，运输机的空投从这边他一开始不是有先空投闹吗？闹了2次之后接女妖啊，所以说胜其实一直都是在防守。你如果说从他的那个第一视角，从他的第一视角来看的话，是一直在防守。看这是第一波空投，这第一波空投吗？哦，这第二波空投啊。 对，第一波空投已经绕过，这第二波空投，然后加上火车去看3空啊2次，然后胜这时候又在防这边，对，防完以后胜这波防住以后开始做了一点营运，做完以后，然后他的那个胜，你看 ForGG 又一直在闹，就这边在烧那个重胎嘛，然后等等那个又要做空投，对，这是第2次了，哦，刚刚那是第1次空投，这是第2次空投。 对，第2次空投，然后胜过来救嘛，然后他把他站上去，站上去杀这只后虫，所以这时候胜还多按了一只后虫要去补那个虫胎，然后这是第3次骚扰，第3次骚扰女妖又来，你们仔细看，其实胜的第一视角来看的话，其实他是一直被闹的哦，他是一直被闹的哦，你看这边女妖又来闹他，对，胜这时候还想要用那个异化虫去那个冲对方家看看，对吧？然后这时候那个胜看到对方的那个火车人已经在这边的时候就来不及，他在后面变毒爆，但是已经有点来不及了。他的毒爆是在那个外面，刚刚不是有外面有一群提速狗嘛，他在那边变的，可是这已经太慢了。啊，还被那个女妖点了，被杀了4只王虫，是不是？
And the Banshee is still alive, even to fuel the Hellbats up to the... Oh, this is just a roasting. There's nothing he can do. ForGG finishes off Sen in 15 minutes here. 5 minutes game number 1, 10 minutes game number 2. Perfect execution game number 1 and perfect number 2. There's a massive world of difference between the both players today.
Utter domination. The hatchery falls. GG. ForGG takes the series 2-0 and moves swimmingly on into the winners match.
Very easy games for ForGG. Sen put up little to no fight at all here against the
DreamHack Winter Champion. 好，我们看那个胜打那个 PUC。